Legend of Total War here, and today we've got a rating U1 rat Doomstack playing as Clan Scryer. We've got Claw here, who's this might actually be one of the best of the one-man Doomstacks. I mean, every time I get sent in a one-man Doomstack, I'm like, well, this is surely it's not going to get any better than this. And then I see this one, I'm like, I never even thought that Claw would be a potentially viable one-man Doomstack, but here we go. So we've got 4 armies of Karaza Karak coming at us. I'm assuming they're in-game crisis. And if we have a look at Claw here, he's got him to 93% ward save, and like perfect armor combination. He's got the Nemesis Crown, of course. That's basically a given for any of the one-man Doomstacks. He's got the Chalice of Malfear. Now, Claw doesn't have regular regen, but he's got regeneration through casting with the Second Wind Serum. And because it's at 0.8%, that's 8 times more regeneration than you would get if you had just like the regular regeneration with like from Isabella's defeat trait. Plus it also provides melee defense, which is particularly useful for him because he doesn't have very high melee defense. I have a suspicion based on that he didn't go and get Krokgar and Nakai's defeat trait, which would have given him 20 extra melee defense on top of this. He may have gotten one of them, but definitely not both, based on that amount. But that would have definitely helped. But anyway, so he's got the Burning Books of Khorne. So this is a particularly good one for him because not only for the ward save, but also for the spell intensity. So that all of his spells are going to be twice as powerful, which is particularly good when dealing with dwarves because they've got spell resistance. Talisman of Preservation, yep, obvious. Sword of Cain. This is one where you don't really want to see it all the time for a one-man Doomstack. I think it's fine for the Skaven because their public order is a bit weird, where it's not really that bad to cause bad public order problems because revolts can be actually good sources of food. It's weird. Skaven are weird. But yeah, you're mainly doing this one for the ward save. You don't need the Unbreakable, I don't think. And then you've got Power Armor, which is providing 15% ward save. Obviously, Armor of Destiny provides overall better combat stats, but I think he's going for full ward save and not worrying about physical resistance at all. But that being said, he does have some. Maybe he got it from somewhere. I don't know. Let's jump in here and see what performs. All right, what's the difficulty? Yep, it's all on maximum. And let's see how it goes. So, I got to think about how best to test this. I don't think there's really much we can do to fail. So, how many of these abilities do I want to use? I've got a nuke, and everyone loves looking at a nuke, but we don't need to. Claw is the nuke. We don't want to rely just on the Mortis Engine effect, because that's everything. Everyone does that. So we want to use his spell casting and see how well that does. But also, with relatively low melee defense, it'd be interesting to see how well he fares against like Giant Slayers. So we could wait for their reinforcements, but I actually think that would be detrimental to the AI because they'll just blob up even more, which will make it even easier for us to kill them. So by going in early, that actually gives the AI a better chance. Because yeah, what would happen is if they had 40 units on the battlefield, I'm just going to let them hit me. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a bit of damage. But we got like 575% regen cap, so I'll just go right through that fine. I don't think we need to worry about that damage because we should be able to heal that with just one of these. All right, one thing I want to check out here. Get out of the Mortis Engine effect here. Let's see how good this does. I want to see how much damage it does to the hero with Cleansing Ruin. You know, without the Mortis Engine effect, double it. Oh, actually, it wouldn't do that much damage to him. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah, not bad for 9 Winds of Magic, for sure. And of course that fully healed us. And you can see they're starting to blow up. And what you can do, because you got the Sword of Cain, is if something's shooting at you and you don't want it to be shooting at you anymore, you just use the Sword of Cain and make it rampage. Pretty crazy so far. We are not really taking much damage at all. Be interesting to see how well this Slayer here does. We have a look at him. He's got 72 melee attack plus anti-large, which he is considered large. So our melee defense is low enough that this guy's basically got a 100% hit chance. But because of the, well, 92% is like that. But because we've got 90% ward save, how much damage is he actually going to do? So if we have a look, just mainly looking at the armor piercing, this guy only does 157 armor piercing. It's mostly base weapon damage. So 10% of that means 15 damage a pop. Most of the base weapon damage is going to be blocked by the armor. So even though the non-armor piercing is a much higher number, you can actually have 100% of that blocked with armor. So the average amount of damage reduction on top of the ward save will be 70%, roughly with this, on average. Now it could, armor's a bit weird with the calculation. There is a possibility that he can block 100% of the damage, but the minimum that would the minimum that would be reduced is 70%. That's the minimum. Anywhere between 70 and 100%. So on average, it would be 85%. Right? Just calculation didn't get it right. I think. You tell me if I'm wrong with that. Because yeah, with that amount of armor, like 70% is the absolute minimum amount of damage that we can take from non-armor piercing damage, and 100% being the maximum.
Kill mode.
And I'm not sure what they're doing. I mean, I didn't bring any other units. The AI is just not really designed for dealing with one-man Doomstacks. They don't know what to do. No, that's not where that unit is. So taking a bit of damage, but yeah, with the Chalice of Malfear, we're not really gonna have any healing problems. Okay, just curious to see how much damage he's actually gonna do with the hit. This is why I want ward save over physical resistance, so that you can just bypass the magical attacks just as easily as physical. Yeah, 26 damage a pop. Next to nothing. Jeez. You'd expect a Giant Slayer to do... Wait, is that... No, sorry, that's a Demon Slayer. Expect to do a fair bit. And then, of course, just pop down one of these. 200% spell intensity. Thousands of damage done to them. And about 1,000 healing done for us. And yeah, so our total effective health with the Chalice of Malfear, I don't know, I don't have the exact number. It'd be somewhere in the vicinity of 60 to 70,000, I guess. Which, you know, they are doing some damage to us, for sure. But I'm also not really casting very often. Because it would be better if I kept casting because of the extra melee defense as well. This just helps speed things up a bit. So this all looks like it's going pretty well. Kind of just want him to stand still, but he just keeps punching right through them. I would have thought these dwarves would have a bit more mass. Maybe Ikiclaw's got heaps. Not really. Maybe it's the speed, he just punches right through them too quickly. Where are you going? Come back over here. Not even specifically trying to aim for their heroes. I'm just letting them do whatever they want to do. Because no one can do any damage. Well, they can. They can't do enough damage to him. Alright, they've brought all their units onto the battlefield, and I reckon the army losses is any moment now. Oh, then again, they've... Okay, there it is. When they've got, like, high-powered artillery there, that would be worth a lot of balance of power without seeming like a hell of a lot of dwarfs. Whereas, like, taking out a whole bunch of dwarf warriors, or even slayers, wouldn't be worth as much as taking out those organ guns there. But yeah, the whole battle taken out really bloody quickly. I mean, the Mortis engine effect of the Nemesis Crown is absolutely crazy. And of course, the AI just blobbing up for the most part. Not just sending in one unit at a time. Like, part of the problem here, I guess, is that the AI is not really programmed to understand what's going to happen with the Nemesis Crown. Like, they don't realize what it is. Like, if you were the dwarfs in this situation, could you win this battle? Ugh. Probably not. Probably not. But you do a hell of a lot better than what the AI did. They accelerate their own demise. Don't have to run them down. I just like to see this number get nice and big. I mean, that's the whole point of a one-man Doomstack. Just big number get bigger. But yeah, it's crazy strong. Now, I do think that the dwarves are a particularly good target for the Skaven. Just trying to think what would be a faction that would put up a better fight against Ikiclaw. I usually think that when I'm playing a Skaven, the vampire accounts are usually such a pain because they're unbreakable. And so when I'm using Weapons Team's army, I usually try to rely on inflicting enough damage to make the enemy turn around and run away, which then you have to inflict the army losses. But that doesn't matter when dealing with one-man Doomstack. Most of the vampire units are trash anyway. So that's not going to work. Maybe the Lizard Mem, if you went up against like loads and loads of single... No, that's not going to work either. Because all the single entities did nothing. You know, maybe the Dwarves were the right call to go up against with this. Mainly the Giant Slayers and, at least initially, the Iron Drake's Trollhammer Torpedo. The thing is, once he goes into melee, that's it. All bets are off. They're not going to shoot anymore. But yeah, that's crazy. Let's have a look at this. I think we were the attacker, weren't we? Yeah, definitely an endgame crisis. Right? Yeah, okay. But he's got diplomacy turned on with him. That's fine. Alright, so let's have a look at Ikiclaw. I'm curious to see what defeat traits he did. Skull Slasher. Unnecessary. Because of the ward save anyway. I don't think he really bothered too much with these traits. Did he get the interesting that you've got that one. Did you get the... Let's see, I'm just trying to think what's it called. The, yeah, Draco's Power, that's it. So he's got that. So, yeah, okay. I'm just mainly looking for here. Oh, that's definitely a really good one to get, for sure, for the Winds of Magic cost. Alright, so what I'm not noticing here are any of the physical resistance ones. Those are not a big deal, because you're already at 90% ward save anyway. But the melee defense ones, that's the only ones that I think would probably provide you with a bit of benefit. You got the Balthazar Gelt one, I saw. Because that, it's only a little bit of armor, but that is something that you can do to reduce the amount of damage you take, but it's like fractions at this point, like fractions of one. That is going to reduce it by. But yeah, just the melee defense. That's the only things I think you're missing. I don't know. What trait do you think would make this better? I can't think. Maybe extra Winds of Magic capacity ones. But yeah, I guess you could go 110% ward save. That way, if you encountered a other Trickster Shard, you're still at maximum ward save because they can only use one of those on you to strip away any resistances, because that would go away straight away. That'd go down to 0. Because yeah, the more resistances that you have, the better the other Trickster Shard is, because it can remove, what is it, up to essentially a total amount of 100% resistance, but across 5 different resistances. But you got the flame resistance there. But yeah, okay. So in terms of how difficult this would be to make, it all just depends on, I guess, how quickly you can get the Chalice of Malfure. I mean, you could save scum it and just like constantly fuse items, blue items, until you get it. The chances of it happening, it's fairly low, but you spend enough time on it, you eventually get it. Burning Books of Corn, I don't find that that's particularly difficult to drop. Once you've got the first one, the other ones are very easy to get, because you just have to equip them, and you've got like a 50-50 chance of getting it. And then Sword of Cain, easy enough to go and get that. That's not a problem whatsoever. And then yeah, it didn't bother much with the defeat traits. The only one I think that's actually difficult for you to get is Drake's Power. Oh right, the other one he didn't get is the Sister Swords trait, because that would be what, 10 extra melee defense. Does he have it? Yeah, Deathsinger and Doomsinger. He doesn't have those traits, unless I missed it, because I wasn't really being particularly thorough. No, I don't think it's here. Unless I'm blind. I mean, you guys sometimes spot things. Oh, you didn't get this perfect. You're missing out on 10% extra health. Not that that really matters at this point. Also, where is Throt's defeat trait? So yeah, missing out on 20% extra health there, which would be worth what? Extra 600 health in total? A bit more than that? Because not 20% of this number, it's 20% of the base. And his base health is what? 6,000, 5,000, something like that. Well, on this, I can't remember. So yeah, you're missing out on a little bit of health. You're missing out on a lot of melee defense. But yeah, I mean, you took out 4 armies with... I didn't even break a sweat, so... It's like, there's a degree of effort that you just don't need to do. It's just sort of pointless. But yeah, it's basically 10 out of 10, because it's so easy to use. It's basically unstoppable. I can't think of any faction that is going to give you a hard time with this. The only problem, I guess, is the Sword of Cain causing increased upkeep cost and control problems. But, I mean... having a slightly negative income is not that big of a deal. Oh my god, look at this. Not that big of a deal with the Skaven, as long as you're constantly fighting battles. But if you've got 28 armies, yeah, it's a fair bit that it's increasing your armies by. It's like having 2.5 additional supply lines. Not a huge problem, but can be. Well, then again, with the Skaven, if you're ever short on money, all you got to do is this. You just go... 1451, remember that number? Just go recruit a new, I think he's been doing it, recruit a new lord. So remember it was at 1451, you go Ravenous Expansion, and then you want to make sure not to hit respec, because then you just lose it, and then properly disband him, don't hit respec. And then, shit, that one there was worth over $1,000 just doing that. So you can do that you can basically, at this stage, oh, he's got a fair bit of territory. So at this stage of the campaign, he can just infinitely keep increasing his income by 1,000 every single turn, just by doing that. Which is pretty crazy, because yeah, you get a new warlord available to recruit every single turn. Anyway, that's the end of this one here, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it, hope you learned something. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Later, guys.